What's going on there, YouTube? Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst, and today we are bringing you a flashback Giorgio Chiellini player review. The 85 rated Italian centre-back who plays for Juventus in Serie A. He has 80 pace, 47 shooting, 72 passing, 66 dribbling, 86 defending, and 86 physical. We're going to tell you whether or not he is worth you picking up and completing this SBC and putting into your team. He's coming in at around 110,000 coins on both consoles. He does have 2-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. He is left-footed with medium high work rates and a high and average body type. In terms of player traits, he has team player, power header, injury prone, and long throwing. Now, this is an SBC which is a bit of an interesting one because we've recently had the Skriniar come out in the signature promo. We also have like player of the month Koulibaly users, road to the group stage to lit users as well, like myself. So I think it's an SBC that a lot of people are going to be interested in. And is he worth picking up over, anyone else kind of on that front? So hopefully we are going to give you that answer today. Let's go ahead and talk about his pros and his cons first of all. His pace, how quick does he feel? Well, for a guy that's 6'2", very good actually. I was very happy with how he caught up with a lot of players in certain areas. You're going to see a lot of clips here where we get caught in behind and he does manage to make up that pace and kind of get into that right area, which is something that I felt very, very happy with. Now, I think in terms of how similar did that sort of feel, I think if you think of Van Dijk as an example, who has 2 less pace, as I just look at his card now, and he has Chiellini has an extra 4 agility and 17 extra balance. Chiellini felt similar to that Van Dijk and similar to Varane, like in the middle of those two. That's the sort of pace that I got when he was trying to make up that ground. Now, when he did make up that ground, he does have the strength, obviously, to bully someone off and just try and put them off when they do get that shot. So the pace was definitely something that I think was a pro. Like, the 80 pace did feel fairly quick for a centre-back. What I would say is if you were playing him next to someone who else is tall, like say a Van Dijk, for example, then I think you would struggle. Or the Dillit, as I've got, that's how I ran him next to him. I think high line defenders, people that like to have a high pressing line, will get caught in behind, kind of over on that over the top through ball. So just try and make sure if you are going to play him, have someone next to him who is a little bit quicker, I would say. Because it wasn't a con, but I wouldn't want someone else next to him in a similar sort of, body frame, height, that sort of thing. Okay. Moving over to his passing. I'm going to obviously disregard the shooting because it's not relevant for us. Moving on to his passing. His vision is 59. He has an 80 short pass, an 80 long pass, and 70 curve. That, if I'm being honest with you, felt absolutely phenomenal. That short pass and long pass. The short pass is obviously a fine at 80 for a centre-back, in my opinion. And the long pass, you're going to see some absolute perler of switches of play that Giorgio Chiellini pulled off for me during my matches. I was very, very happy with the passing stats that we have on there. By the way, I did play him in the left centre-back position, and the chemistry style, I think, is pretty safe to say that we're running a shadow on him here. I think that's what really gives him the absolute best kind of boost in the area that I wanted him to be. But the passing was phenomenal, for those switches. The 80 long pass, it almost didn't feel like it at times because he was very comfortable doing it. And the 3-star weak foot does help as well, obviously, to have those sort of switches and passes going from there. So good enough as a centre-back in the passing department. Let's talk about what is classed as the dribbling stat. For us now, it's going to be more so about how quick can he turn and jockey. How did he feel in the sprint jockey? He has 65 agility, 70 balance, 88 reactions, 63 ball control, 63 dribbling, and 90 composure. The 2 big stats here, 88 reactions and 90 composure, for a centre-back is absolutely incredible. I felt the times where he reacted to that loose ball. He reacted to that rebound. His composure when he was under a little bit of pressure or when he needed to make sure he stayed tight to the opponent inside the 18-yard box. Everything about that was phenomenal on this card. I was really happy with those 2 stats. The agility and balance for a player that's 6'2", at 65 and 70, really isn't that bad. Like, a lot of people, they see pace and then they look at the agility and balance stat and they get concerned. Where is obviously this a bit of a hindrance? It's when they play those over the top through balls. Chiellini's facing that way. He needs to turn and get on his bike that way. or up against a Neymar who's got the ability to really turn quite quickly, some shot cancels and so on. I think for the majority of users, this isn't that big of a deal. You have to defend in a certain way where you really need to make sure that you're not being too aggressive and predicting where the opponent goes. Because if you do that, then yes, you will feel like you're almost on ice skates with Chiellini. Just kind of hold your ground, stay goal side, think about where the opponent is going, and as long as you mirror the opponent in the jockey, you'll be fine. I felt his jockeying with this agility and with this balance was good. There was a couple of times where I may have like played off a pass or something and someone comes in to tackle me and everything, and at 70 balance he gets, you know, a little bit caught on that and may fall over. But as a whole, for the card that he is, I was happy on that side of stuff. Moving on to the defensive stats now. Comes with 86 interceptions, 74 heading accuracy, 90 defensive awareness, 86 hands tackle, and 85 slide tackle. When you put a shadow on that, you are taking this into team of the year, team of the season stats on those defensive there. 99 slide tackle, 96 stand tackle, 95 defensive awareness, 79 heading accuracy, 96 interceptions. You cannot ask for anything more in those defensive stats. That is absolutely out of this world and incredible, and I felt it. His tackle was strong, his slide tackles were always on point. Everything about that sort of side was brilliant. He even stepped in and made some interceptions on times where I wasn't even controlling him and telling him to do that. The defensive department on this card was great. Moving over to the physical stats now. 90 jumping, which is again more than capable of winning the ball in the air. 90 strength and 87 aggression. Where the letdown is here is 78 stamina. It's a little bit low, but it's not so low that it becomes a problem. I think you'll notice it when you get into 80th minute, 85th minute extra time. And that's where, with that acceleration, which is at 79, with the agility at 65 and 78 stamina, in the 102nd minute, for example, if the opponent brings on a very, very quick striker, you are going to get punished here. So I would recommend having a super sub on the bench who's capable to play left back, right back, centre defensive mid and centre back, like Gozens, for example, and bring them on if you feel that this is a potential issue for you. But everything else about that is obviously definitely a pro. Now, in terms of team links, how do we link him in? He's relatively easy to link in Serie A, and I'll say that because he's Italian, obviously in the Italian league. And for the majority of people, when you run a Serie A team, you run a Serie A team. Some people will hybrid here and there, but I tend to find the Serie A league, people stay kind of within that league in themselves. The way I linked him was with the Delit. That was how it was the easiest way for me to link him in. I'd probably recommend using Quadrado at right back and linking him in that way. That's probably going to be one of your easy ways to get that club link. If not, like a Tonali in the middle can make things a hell of a lot easier for you. In terms of longevity, how long can this card be used for? I think with a shadow on him, for me personally, I would use this card for the next 2 months. Like me and the way I defend, he would be more than fine to use for the next 2 months. As long as you are not really super aggressive, playing a really high line. I play a high line, but I right stick switch. I switch to cover the ball really early, right? So if they go for the over the top, I'm already halfway there, so it's not a problem. But if you play a high line and don't right stick switch, you will get caught with this card. If you play a deep line, you're going to see, you know, a long time with this card. Not an issue whatsoever. In comparison to kind of Tiller Delit, as I look at him, I think he's better than the knockout Delit, but obviously Delit, I believe, has upgrades still to come. Yeah, I think he goes up to an 88, which I still think Chiellini will be better because he's better in the passing department for me, and he will still have a little bit more pace, I believe. Defending will be about right the same, and physical is a little bit more in Delit's favour. So I would still choose the Chiellini in this front. When we're looking at the Skriniar, who is 100k, who has 82 pace, 89 defending, and 87 physical, if you only need one of these, that Skriniar signature signing is the better card. That is who I would go for if I, kind of had that choice. And the only reason why I would go for that is purely because of the extra pace on the Skriniar, right? That's where I'd go. Now, when we look at someone like Cordoba, who is an extra 300,000 coins on top of this, Cordoba is a great centre-back, but lacks a little bit in the height department. One of the best centre-backs on the game, in my opinion. If you have the price to get him, Cordoba is your man to go for. A Skriniar on Cordoba could work. If you're thinking, I don't want to spend the coins on Cordoba, I'm happy using Skriniar and Chiellini for the next 2 months, then yes, complete the Chiellini on there. The way I would kind of round this up and kind of give this to you, if you didn't complete the Player of the Month Koulibaly, and you need a better centre-back, you're running gold Koulibaly, gold Skriniar or something, then yes, go and complete this Chiellini SBC. If you have Koulibaly, you don't need to change him. If you have De Ligt and Skriniar, personal preference if you want to get him over De Ligt, but you've already done an SBC there. For me personally, my overall rating, what would I give this card? I think the price is very respectable. I think with a shadow chemistry style on him and the way he performs and how strong he is in the tackle, I would give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. The only reason why I don't think I'd give it kind of any more is because I think league-wise, not always the cup of tea for people. And just because that Skriniar is out there, and yes, Skriniar is maybe a little bit harder to link because of the nation, but I think Skriniar is the better card in all departments, really, and he's the same sort of price. So that's why I'd only give him an 8.5 out of 10. But it was a fun card to use nonetheless. You let me know exactly what you think. Pop your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you all very much for watching as always. I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye-bye.